We have here grading organizations.
Which
Then
that?
that is
From the start, so
page
that I can.
23. Page 23, the objectives. Then in this chapter you will learn to be introduced external factors, socio-cultural influence, identify the socio-cultural impacts,
Wait, 23.
yes, 23. That is the I highlight that. This is the page 90. Also advanced. Sorry.
23. How come 23 here is this one? You see
Oh,
the
yeah,
slide
yeah, this
number.
one.
Slide number
Slide number, sorry, 45.
40.
45. Page 23, slide 45.
This one.
Mm, yes.
Ah, okay. No, this one we will discuss. This is chapter 2. Wow, you're so advanced.
Okay,
This
sorry.
is chapter 2. We will be
It's okay.
discussing about the factors that affects the
Yes.
industry. Other topic, other words that you are not familiar.
Then the factors affecting hospitality industry, social cultural influences.
That's chapter 2. We will
Yeah,
discuss today.
yeah, yeah, sure. That's the highlight and
Ah, okay. So
um,
last week, yesterday we've discussed
yesterday.
about this one.
Yes,
About
yes,
the
that's
how
fine.
they
But yes,
categorize. How they
yes,
categorize the hotel. So it's by star. One
by
of the
star.
way how they categorize it by star. So here you can see, right? So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star
Five
hotel. And then
star.
I did mention to you in Singapore, they also have half star.
Oh,
Yes, yes, yes. You can see, search.
uh,
I'll give you 2 minutes. Google search. 3.5 star hotel in Singapore.
three
Google
and a
it.
half star.
3.5.
3.5 star. 3.5 star hotel.
Half. Yeah, like usually when they don't put the word star. They put drawing like this.
Mm.
You search. What example of hotel with half star?
Some for home. Hmm.
You saw?
Yes. So because one star.
May ano lang. What example of hotel?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Lang. Sorry. Cannot download. The Plaza Comfort Inn. Ay,
Hmm?
yeah. Comfort Inn.
You
That
saw the drawing. Hold on. Because if I
just a
stop
minute.
share this, okay, let me
Oh,
see.
this one. Okay. Oh, it's not this one. Hmm. Yung seminar ko.
I'll show you. Okay. Can you see that?
Mhm.
Can you see this drawing? The Noble Hotel. And not cheap also, $83. You see that? Very funny. How they categorize the hotel. I'll give you the example. Hold on. Let me make it.
It's motel.
Can you see
It's
that?
in
The
no,
Noble Hotel. Near our school. Jalan Besar.
Nobel Hotel.
The Noble Hotel. Can you see the drawing, the star here? The star here, one, two, three, half. Can you see it? Can you see the drawing?
Nawawala yung ano eh.
Camera, camera.
Okay. Okay na. Ito na. Okay na.
Can you see that?
Oo.
The drawing. Eh, ayun.
Mahina talaga mag-load. Wala kasi man hindi ako nakakonect sa wifi. Nung ano.
Ayun. Ay.
Pero ako sa cellphone yung gamit, no?
Hmm.
Hindi siya maglo-load ng mabilis.
How come I cannot? Can you see that? Three and a half. Then two-star hotel. You see the
Oh,
shade.
three and a half
You
star
see the
hotel.
shade.
Three and a half.
Yes. So that means it doesn't fall under four-star, lower than four-star, higher than three-star.
Mga ni.
So when they categorize the accommodation, I did mention to you right last night that hotel, we do have different way how we categorize by level. So how they fall. So your question last night is how the hotel fall under one star, two star, three star, four star, five star. So by the facilities, for example, how many number of rooms, how big is the room, what are the types of bed inside the room. So those are the ways how they categorize the hotel. Okay, so in different, and then I did mention to you yesterday, different country has different leveling of the hotels. For example, in Singapore, way of categorizing the hotel, for example, a hotel in Singapore is already five-star, but in other country it's just three-star. Like Holiday Inn, I did mention to you yesterday, Holiday Inn. In Singapore is already four five-star hotel. In certain branch of hotel in Philippines of Holiday Inn, it only falls under three-star.
Because of,
The facilities, the room, the size.
oh,
So when they build that one, maybe smaller, so it doesn't fall under five-star. So that's how they categorize it. What else? For example, um, the F&B, the restaurants. How many restaurants they have? For example, one restaurant, two restaurant, three restaurants, and the different types of rooms. So there are different ways how they categorize the hotel in different country. And take note, for example, in Philippines, the Manila Hotel, our symbol of hotels in Philippines, Manila Hotel, because it's in the capital, right? So
yeah.
when they opened that one, it was five-star hotel, but it was not maintained. So it falls into four-star. So what I'm trying to say is when the hotel is operating, it doesn't mean that the entire operation of the hotel is five-star hotel. For example, they did not manage to maintain the facilities. And then when the organization body check it doesn't fall anymore under the category of five-star. It already falls under the category of four-star. So it can be downgraded. What else?
Because
What if the
in our
hotel started
country,
as three-star, but they keep on improving, developing? So from three-star, it can go into the level of five-star. It can also be upgraded. It
because
depends
of the
how the
management.
management, yes, it depends how the management will maintain the facilities. That's why I did mention. That's why you see Manila Hotel, right? Manila Hotel, it was even sold to a private company. Why? They cannot maintain anymore when I was there. The carpet doesn't really smells very nice anymore. Then the facilities was not maintained properly. So when they check again, it was downgraded from five-star to four-star. So that's the category. So if you could see in the you can see let's say in the portal, let's say booking.com, you can see the category of the hotel and what you can expect. Some like got leveling, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Of course, the level 5, you are expecting luxurious accommodation and public areas with a range of extra facilities and a multilingual service available. Okay, so meaning you are expecting more, but expected you also will pay more.
Yeah.
Ah, you expect more, but don't expect the same price for one, two, three, four, five.
But maybe depend on the hotel because last time I and we are Nicolas goes in the Chilean Bazaar, right? They
Uh-huh.
are some hotels the price is higher, but the facilities is not good. Even the toilet is not clean, and did not give the remote of aircon. Yeah, really. Then they said that the GP is so expensive. Then this is the rooms, something like that. It's so dirty, right? Then we didn't come back.
Mm.
Then last time when last meet up in the school go in the Arulong hotel. Is the accommodate very clean, accommodating, but I told you that he booked something king size, but bed is two queen size, something like that. But the facilities is okay. Then cheapest price.
Ah, that's why you see,
Yes.
I told you, right? In Indonesia, the rooms there were really very big, but it only falls under the category of three-star.
Mm,
But very, very big, inside the room, wow, very big.
can play. That we can play about.
Ah, you can run there. That's why it doesn't really uh it's not the same in all area. It depends to the requirement per country. And as I mentioned, it doesn't mean now you are five-star, you are also five-star. You need to maintain. You need to maintain your facilities. You need to upgrade it if you want to upgrade your facilities. Then another way of categorizing the hotel is like this. Okay, so it's almost the same. Almost the same, like one, two, three, four, five. So as your grading become higher, of course, the facilities are more luxurious, but expected that you will be paying more. Okay, so that is an example. This is an example of the hotel that it
Oh,
started like beyond seven because this one is seven-star. 7-star hotel. Let me show you this one. This one is in
Go.
Dubai.
The first class hotel.
7-star. Highest is only 5-star, right? But that one is 7-star hotel. Hotel. You see that? I'll show you how they actually you can
This is
see.
how we made our flow better than ever.
You can actually visualize if it is categorized as 7-star, what to expect in a 7-star hotel.
Um,
With Monday.com, it gave our team one sense.
This is how a 7-star
the
hotel looks like.
Hi, ma'am.
Not all are open, are accepted there, you know. There was one celebrity, Filipino celebrity, I forgot who is that one. He was not accepted there. He's an artist in Philippines, but he was not accepted there. So he very upset one.
why?
You can just imagine. I just want you to visualize how a 7-star hotel look like.
It has the standard
Mm,
level. Oh,
more than common highest already is 5-star, right? That
yeah.
birds all around in Jumeirah is 7-star.
All the workers is Arab or some foreign.
Actually, they just I don't know what is in Dubai like. They always want to become like they are they set the highest example. Actually, after they built this first, right, 7-star hotel, they built 10-star hotel. Later,
Wow.
I will show you. But it's underwater.
Dubai is so expensive, right?
I checked for that.
Mm,
That's the
yes.
actually it's
Modernized.
that's how the cabinet
Maybe all are remote. They're using remote.
few thousand per night.
6,000 dirhams.
Mm,
My God.
23,000 USD per night. 23 or 28 USD per night.
Real family can afford it.
Those lining of the equipment, the facility, the furnitures, right? It was just changed already,
It
but
is
previously
gold.
it was really made of real gold. Even the
Oh,
shower knob, the all those are already there. This one, those facilities, this one, their suite room. You see that?
The other one was a welcome.
How it looks like. Then you can just imagine how you could visualize this kind of hotel when you spend 10 stars.
Disneyland, Disneyland Hotel. But this one is nicer than Disneyland Hotel. Just before I go in Disneyland Hotel, yeah.
Mm. Where?
When I was in Hong Kong,
Ah,
uh, yeah, well, I worked in Hong Kong 3 years, last 2017, 18, 19.
Hong Kong hotels, or maybe I didn't go to a five-star hotel, but when we went there, the rooms there are quite small. But especially during Chinese New Year, it's very expensive during Chinese New Year time. So imagine, I'll show you. Wait, I'll show you the 10-star hotel.
Or
There's only, imagine, in their place, right? There's only one 7-star hotel, and then they even exceed that 7-star. Then they created one more. Another one is underwater hotel.
wow,
Yes,
how
the
does it stuff
same
in the
thing.
underwater, right?
You need to take what do you call this? You need to take a submarine for you to go to the hotel.
So smart.
Maldives is another place for many resort hotels in the world. So another popular place. Hold on na. My internet also now is not very good.
Because of the thunderstorm maybe and
Yeah, very
rain,
scary, very
ano,
strong rain.
oh,
Actually, another many maybe later. So it depends to how much can what do you call this? How much you can afford to pay. Imagine, it's like if we are just a normal person, that's why you see when we categorize the guests VIP, VVIP. Imagine, like, for example, who is this one? The president last time, President Donald, no, not Donald Trump. Oh yeah, President of US last time when he visited Philippines. Can you
mm,
imagine? No flight. Only his private plane is flying in the air within the area of Philippines. No other airplane. They stopped all the flight when he arrived. And then the room got helipad. Then he even brought his own chef. He even brought his own housekeeper. So no one from the hotel employee can enter his room to clean
oh,
or even to cook his food for safety purposes. When he go out his hotel room, right? All the people, let's say he will pass by. So all the people should face the wall.
hmm.
Cannot see him. And then the entire place, all no traffic. They close the area where he will pass by. Expected because he's, I mean, uh president of another big country of the of US. So the Philippines really adjusted. There was even one time, now all wasted, because my place is near Clark. There was a summit. There was a summit conducted in Clark. Then they built, every representative of the country, they built a room for them which is bulletproof. Now all wasted. No one is using. They only use
Only for the,
this, then that's it.
oh,
Imagine. So it depends to the how they will be, like this Jumeirah, Burj Al Arab. It's a 7-star hotel. Then after that one, another 10-star later I will search. 10-star hotel was built also. And This one you can go enter, but the 10-star hotel you need to take submarine in order for you to go in, and then all suite room, and it's underwater hotel. Okay. So now what if you could compare it during early time? Okay, it's just a four-walled accommodation. They don't even have their privacy. It's common. It's like a common uh four-walled hold on. Four-walled accommodation. Then everybody can go in, sleep, and then while they are traveling, and then but if as time goes by, then improve. One of the first who actually started that one is Holiday Inn, one of the oldest. Holiday Inn. They are the one who started the franchised Holiday Inn. Okay, so there
Holiday
are
Inn have
many,
in the Philippines, right?
Holiday Inn, right? In Singapore, I
Yeah,
think
in
four
Philippines,
branches.
Holiday Inn have in the Philippines. In my place have a Holiday Inn, but not so.
Yeah, quite few. There are many branches of that one. So when it comes, one of the one who started the franchise, as I told you, right, when you trace back the history of hospitality, last time, uh, it's for free, and then it become like $1. That's why there was a saying in one of the reference book is like $1 in a cent for a bed and a bath. Because when we look for an accommodation, we are looking for a place where to just sleep and freshen up. We are not really expecting luxury. But now you see, oh, I can like one time, like, oh, I don't want to go in a small like those 1-star 2-star hotel, very small, or the facilities is very basic. But if you are looking for a 5-star, you need to expect that you are paying more. And if you want to enjoy the facilities offered by the hotel, for example, breakfast,
Some
buffet
amenities.
breakfast, correct? When you are
Yeah.
expecting buffet breakfast, international cuisine, for example, you expect that you will be paying more for that one. And like for example, here the Marina Bay Sand. Actually, here the MBS, they are not they are earning much, not to those people staying in their room. They are earning more because of the casino. Because of people who love to gamble. Actually, their rooms, right? They are just putting their rooms like points. For example, if you are a gambler, but here a lot. That's why you see Singapore government. If you are Singaporean, you want to enter in casino, you need to pay entrance fee. Grace, are you there? I think naghang ka. Okay, we continue. Don't worry.
So, sorry.
Okay, so that is the first one. Now for the second time, for the second chapter, this is the one you say you're not uh very sure.
Mm.
So for chapter 2, the introduction to external, uh can you see me? Can you see me, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So introduce the external factors affecting the industry, social cultural influences, the socio-cultural impact, economic influences, and determine the economic impact of the industry. So for this one, right? Okay, let me just social and economic issues and influences. So you can just imagine. We'll use Singapore as example, ah. We'll use Singapore as example. So Singapore, although in Singapore, hospitality and tourism is not the main income generating industry. Okay, logistic is still one of the best. Like it gives income to the country, but we cannot excuse that tourism also of Singapore gives income to the country. So pest analysis can be performed to determine the factors that affect any type of industry. So when we talk about external factor, so it's like this. But before that, let me show you first the Singapore tourism industry. Hold on, how it actually contribute into the economy of Singapore. Let me just show you. Hold on. Just for you to have an idea how tourism industry of Singapore work. So for example, the monthly statistics of visitor arrival in Singapore. Let's say we go here in the hotel usage. You see that? So for example, if you look at it, the average room rate in Singapore, average occupancy rate, actually it dropped. You see the red color?
Yeah.
Drop to of 2.2, drop zero point 0.6 from the previous month na. But it increased the available room na per night 1.5, it increased 1.5. So they this is how they actually why not moving? See January to May 2025. Can you see that? Jan, let's say this is the available room per night. Jan, Feb, March, April, May. For the first 5 months of the year, May is the highest.
Because of the season.
Yes. So here you can see the flow of the tourists coming into Singapore. But here we are talking about the hotel accommodation. Let us see the visitors. Who are the common visitors of Singapore for the
India.
first 5 months?
Just kidding.
Did that? Eh, where is stuck up? But here never mentioned the nationality. But if you
What
could
was
see,
weird?
wait, I want to show you from. Okay. But this one is last year one. Last year. If you could see the January 2024 to December 2024. This is the tourism receipt last year. 29.78 billion.
My God.
And it increased 9.67% from 2023. You can see this one, right? The third one you can see. Shopping, these are the purpose of people when they travel here. Let's say for China, people from China or tourists from China, 25% shopping. So meaning 25% of Chinese people coming to Singapore, they are here for shopping.
Shopping for gold.
Shop branded accommodation, F&B, and other component. And you can see here the meaning is Chinese from China are the top tourists of Singapore.
Hmm.
You see that tourism receipts from China, then Indonesia. See that?
Indonesia is nearby only.
But they love to travel to Singapore for shopping. See that? Because they are very scared in Indonesia, the brand they will be cheated if they will buy branded item. So instead,
Hmm.
especially Indonesian Chinese, they always come here. They are these are the people who will come here. Their main reason is to shop. You see that 31%. Australia 12% here, US 11% for shopping. So you can see these are the top 10 tourist people who travel and visit Singapore. Okay? So then you can see this one are the reasons of people coming here to Singapore. So meaning they spend total number of tourists for the year 2024 for shopping, Singapore earned 5.2 billion. Accommodation 5.14 billion. F&B
So rich.
4.25, yeah. So then the other components 9.5, SEG 6.7 billion, other components 9.1 billion. These are the reasons of people when they travel. So when you total up that one, the tourism receipt of Singapore for the last year 2024 was 29.78 billion. Okay? Imagine, that's why you see a lot of tourists are coming to Singapore. The reason is Singapore has a very good mode of transportation. The accessibility of Singapore. What else? The convenience. Because they can travel here, they will not be scared with the number one, the language.
Yeah.
People, they are not very scared if they can come here, and then they can speak in English, they can speak in Malay, they can speak in India, the Tamil, Hindi, you know. And the people here, although there are some discriminations, but still at the end, you can see the people here, they will really accommodate the tourists. But can see that Singapore as a tourist destination, it's already congested. You just go to Merlion. You just go to Sentosa. You just go
Hmm.
to MBS. It's very crowded. The tourist coming to Singapore is very congested. That when you analyze the how the local people react, It already goes, later we will discuss that one, the product life cycle of Singapore tourism. So it's like somehow the local, it already come to the level of annoyance that they cannot move anymore. Like tourists are more than local, you know. Let me show you this. Don't know what.
Some Singaporean agree with the Indian nationalities.
Mm,
Yeah, because
discrimination.
there's discriminations, yes.
Yes. What?
And they act like stupid, something like that. Especially the drunkard.
Correct. Wait out. Let me. What will I show you? Ah, okay. Wait. This is we're talking about now the pestle analysis when we talk about Singapore as a tourism destination. It's not that you can see. Okay, you just see first now. Okay. This is the government. When we talk of politics,
Politics.
democratic, PB, all the link, this one I will send to you. Political risk in Singapore is quite low. No restrictions. Ownership of business. U.S. companies face several trade barriers. This is the reason why Singapore is one of the chosen country to start their business. Comparing to other country, I mean, we are Filipino, but you can see when you start up your business in Singapore, in Philippines, what? the
Lots of requirements
requirements, and also the very,
for
very
me.
troublesome. Okay, this is the
Yeah.
E, economic. Yeah, the employability, very shortage, although that's the challenge. Shortage of labor, very low unemployment rate. In Singapore, you don't work, you will die.
Yeah, true.
Everybody here are working. That's why very low rate of unemployment.
Because they here in Singapore don't have a farm or something like the Philippines. They have farming.
Many, many, I mean, the people really will try their best to work. And the good thing is government is supporting.
Yeah.
You see, these are the GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. Okay? Inflation rate. That's one thing in Singapore. Imagine when I first came here, the GST is 7. 7, then 8, then 9. Now is 9 the GST. I always remember when I first came here, the 10 pieces of egg cost only 90 cents. Now $3 plus the inflation rate. And then socially, the good thing here is easy to adjust the culture and living environment. As long as you will live harmoniously, no one will bother you. Modern westernized environment, safe country. You can see the life, very simple.
Social demographics.
Mm. Then technological. You yourself also can feel how technology works here in Singapore.
Yeah, even company they use robotics
Mm.
with
Restaurants
technology.
also. See that? So that is what you meant by external factor, the pest. So when we talk about pest, political, economic, social, and technological. That is this one. Okay, legal first. Let's complete. Legal means that's one thing in Singapore, very strict. You cannot play one. Law is law.
Yeah, and like in other country, you
That
can
one you can
say,
bend the law. Here cannot.
yeah,
And of course, the environmental. The good thing in Singapore, even though this country is not many of natural resources, but you can see even man-made, but you can see. That's why you see a lot of attractions. They are all man-made. They are not natural. Very few Bukit Timah, very few attractions are natural. Bukit Timah Reserve, the rest majority of the attractions here are man-made, but it was all well maintained. Okay, so when we talk about pastel, but let me just give you the general. Step into Wix Studio and handle what every do part you of your mean build by this pastel? Map out your project.
With an AI
Pestle, Pest, Steeple, Desktop, or the Spellet analysis. They're all different versions of basically the same thing with the exact same goal, which is to help you analyze the external environment of an organization. This is especially useful when starting a new business or when entering a foreign market or a different industry with an existing company. Before I go into the actual framework, I want to clearly define the external environment that is being examined. Because pestle analysis does not just look at any external factor out there, but more specifically to macro-environmental factors. In order to explain it better, let's imagine a fictional company. First of all, you have the company itself. Everything that exists and happens within that company can be considered internal. Think about the organizational structure of the company, the culture, the employees, the management, shareholders, reward systems, etc. Closely surrounding the company, which are therefore external, are competitors, suppliers, distributors, customers, or strategic partners. These external elements, so to speak, are in a direct contact with the focal company. They interact with one another. It's a two-way relationship. Sometimes this part of the external environment is called the task environment. Now, it's very important to realize that even though pestle is looking at external factors, it is not looking at these factors. Like mentioned before, pestle looks at the more general environment, the macro environmental factors, which can have a massive impact on the company, but not the other way around. They therefore have a one-way effect rather than an interaction like with the task environment. If you want to look more into the task environment, I advise you to use Porter 5 Forces, which I will make a video on very soon. So now we have that cleared up, let's go into the pestle analysis. Pestle is an acronym that stands for Political, Economic, Social, Technological, Environmental and Legal Factors. Together they make up quite an exhaustive list of the general environment. In other words, if you look at all of these 6 factors combined when scanning the organization's environment, you are less likely to miss out on any important macro-environmental factors. Let's go through all of them one by one. Political. These factors are all about how and to what degree a government intervenes in the economy or a certain industry. Basically, all the influences that a government has on your business could be classified here. This can include government policy, political stability or instability, corruption, foreign trade policies, tax policies, etc. Furthermore, the government may have a profound impact on how a nation's education system works, how infrastructure looks like, and how the health sector is regulated. These are all factors that need to be taken into account when assessing the attractiveness of a potential market. Economic factors are determinants of a certain economy's performance. Factors include the economic growth, exchange rates, inflation rates, interest rates, disposable income of consumers, and unemployment rates. These factors may have a direct or an indirect long-term impact on a company since it affects the purchasing power of consumers and could possibly change the demand and supply in the economy. Therefore, it also affects the way companies price their products and services. You can imagine that in a country where purchasing power is relatively low, prices are also lower. The social dimension. This dimension of the general environment represents the demographic characteristics, norms, customs and values of the population within which the organization operates. This includes trends such as the population growth rate, age distribution, income levels, but also attitudes towards careers, health, lifestyle, and possible cultural barriers. These factors are especially important for marketeers when targeting certain customers. In addition, it also says something about the local workforce and its willingness to work under certain conditions. Some people like to distinguish these factors by separating social factors into demographics and cultural or intercultural factors. That explains these different versions of the pestle analysis. Personally, I'm fine with the social category since it combines all factors related to the people, but feel free to adapt it in a way that suits you, of course. Technological factors. These factors pertain to innovations in technology and the regulations surrounding technology that may affect the operations of the industry and the market favorably or unfavorably. Think about technology incentives, the level of innovation, automation, R&D activity, technological change, and the amount of technological awareness that a market possesses. These factors may influence decisions to enter or not enter certain industries, to launch or not launch certain products, or to outsource production activities abroad. By knowing what is going on technology-wise, you may be able to prevent your company from spending a lot of money on developing a technology that would become obsolete very soon due to disruptive technological changes elsewhere. Environmental factors have come to the forefront only relatively recently. They have become important due to the increasing scarcity of raw materials, pollution targets and carbon footprint targets set by governments, and pressure from NGOs like, for example, Greenpeace. It is important to mention that you shouldn't be confused about the term environmental here, since we also use that to indicate all external factors combined. Environmental simply has a double meaning here, and in this context, we use it to address ecological aspects such as weather, climate, environmental offsets, and climate change. Basically, the well-being of our planet. Growing awareness of the potential impacts of climate change is affecting how companies operate and what kind of products they offer. This has led to many companies getting more and more involved in practices such as corporate social responsibility and sustainability. So finally, the legal factors. Although these factors may have some overlap with the political factors, they include more specific laws, such as discrimination laws, antitrust laws, employment laws, consumer protection laws, copyright and patent laws, and health and safety laws. It is clear that companies need to know what is and what is not legal in order to operate successfully and rightfully. If an organization trades globally, this becomes especially tricky since each country has its own set of rules and regulations. In addition, you want to be aware of potential changes in legislation and the impact it may have on your business in the future. So recommended is to have a legal advisor or an attorney to help you with these kind of things. So all of these factors combined give a good overview of the general environment out there. Which factors are most important for your business might vary based on the country and the industry you are in. As you might be able to imagine, environmental and ecological factors are more important to the oil and automotive industry than, for example, the software industry. So if you want to bring pestle into practice and actually use it properly, I recommend you to calculate weighted averages of the available options you have. Imagine you are a European company and you're thinking of entering the South American market, but you don't know which country to enter first. What you could do is select a number of pestle factors that are most important to your business. Let's say we want to look at the economic growth, corruption, and how intellectual property is protected. Give them a weighting of their importance relative to the other factors, and assign grades for each factor per country. In the end, you are able to give each option a weighted average grade and compare them to each other. So you might be wondering where to get that data from. You will actually be surprised how many of the factors that I have just mentioned in this video are already measured and given a score. Even something as corruption, for example, is measured by the Corruption Perception Index. There are many helpful websites where these factors are quantified per country And of course, I'm here to help you out, so I included some useful links in the description down below. If you like business related stuff, feel free to subscribe.
Okay, so if you could see that one, I don't know whether recording or not. Okay, if you could see the pestel, right? PESTEL, political, economic, social,
Yeah.
technological, okay,
Um,
environmental and legal. So this one pestel. Okay, this one, okay, I'll go back to our slides. Okay, this one, the pestle analysis can be performed to determine the factors that affects the type of industry. So for example, our hospitality industry in Singapore as a country or destination context, how are you going to describe how pastel affects Singapore as a tourism destination? Okay, actually, this is part of your assignment. I'll just let you know in advance. Okay, you just need to visualize. Okay, you need to visualize how Singapore as a tourism destination, but I definitely will give you a separate explanation about your assignment, but just give you a heads up. So you will describe Singapore or Philippines, I leave it to you, or other country which you are more familiar, you will be describing how these external factors affects the country or of destination. So for example, Singapore, right? Singapore, you will be describing, just now I showed you few videos. For example, Singapore, as how you describe Singapore politically, how you describe the economy of Singapore, how you describe the socio-cultural of Singapore, how you describe the technology in Singapore, how you describe the environmental here in Singapore, and how you describe the legal here in Singapore.
the pestle.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but that one separate. When I discuss with you your assignment, we will discuss further, but just to give you the heads up. So how this pestle affects the destination, or for example, something like you will open up a business. Before you enter into the business, you should be studying their pestle. You understand? For example, the political, will you, because you will be spending money, whether the law in the country you are suitable, whether the inflation rate, whether the, for example, there was a time in Thailand is very, very disturbing. Political disrupt, there are political instability. Same in Philippines. The political instability in Philippines. Many people are demonstrating, which you cannot do in Singapore. Here, you cannot be in what do you call this, crowd, more than 6 or more than 10 in one place. Automatic police will come and talk to you what you are discussing, because they don't allow, they avoid. There was a time, Malaysia election.
Mm.
There are few Malaysians that they are not in favor of the winner. Then they demonstrated in near Merlion. All they were sent out to their country, because
Oh.
Singapore government, they don't allow all this demonstration. They
They
want,
didn't allow the big forum.
sorry,
They did not allow the big forum. Like in the Philippines, they are the if they
rally.
have some, yeah, rally.
Here they don't allow. So the type of government plays very important role. because you see here, it's democratic.
Yeah.
Democratic means people got say.
But in the Philippines, democratic also.
Yes, in Philippines, anything there talk. People there, wow, one thing talk, one thing talk, demonstrate, question the government. That's what
Mm.
I don't know lah. That's why I'm very, uh, you know, so many people they really want to show that they are very intelligent, that they know everything, they know it all. One thing the government said, then they will act against it, and then they will do demonstration. When I was in college, my teacher, our some of our teacher, because they are against the government, because
Mm.
my university that time, we were known for how to say, like radical thinking. So when let's say during her class, so she will not do class, she will ask us to go in front of Malacanang and do
Mm.
demonstration. Then I say, ma'am, cannot lah, my mother will be angry to me. you know they are really pushing the young
Students?
generation to fight against the government. That's why you can see, wow, so many people in front of the like here, the Stana, the Malacanang,
Even
where the
before, right?
president, in
The
Philippines.
UP?
Sorry,
UP? UP?
PUP.
Yeah, PUP, yeah.
Yes. So our teacher, oh, you go there and then you fight against the government. Imagine, that's what mindset they want to instigate to the
Ridiculous.
young generation until now, especially in UP. That's why there are some saying like, we don't want to hire students from PUP or from UP because of their mindset. If they don't like the regulations, they will really make demonstration. They will not keep quiet. But you cannot do that one in Singapore. Here, law is law. I think you are stuck up again, Grace. Can you hear me?
Signal siguro.
Yeah, yeah, maybe lah. So that
Wala
is
this
one
time.
part of your assignment, but I'll give you more explanation about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Then this one, socio-cultural, the culture here. There was one instance, but I cannot see you, Grace.
Oh,
Your
okay.
camera off. Ah, okay, now can. There was one instance here in Singapore. One Malay wearing the traditional costume of Malay,
Hmm.
but it was see-through. Can see the bra inside. So the people really criticize. Stomp. Stomp is
Dah.
the website where so many like they will voice out their frustrations.
Yeah.
There was one time, one Malay lady, she was wearing the traditional costume of Malay, Singaporean Malay, but it was see-through that can see already the bra inside. So she was
Hmm.
really criticized. So what is the relation of that one? So to them, like, they were already influenced. They are disrespecting the culture. So what is the relation of that one? It's like the tourism industry, because of the foreign people, of the tourists entering into the country, okay? It actually influenced the local people.
Yeah, true.
Same in let's say in other country, the culture, the belief, in Philippines, right? During Holy Week, the Good Friday, it was it is very sacred to Catholic. Are you Catholic?
Yeah.
Ah, Good Friday, right? The what do you call this? The crossing
Yeah,
cross
crucifix.
crucifixion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some people they do that religiously. Like
And their
they do it like
possession.
they do it for the purpose of what do you call this, for their religious belief. So it is very holy. But there are some tourists near my place. There are some tourists who went there to witness and at the same time make fun of trying it for fun.
Oh, so
So,
bad.
so that's what we are saying. Sometimes because of tourism, that's a negative effect. Because of tourism, it gives negative impact. It
To the
change it
local.
change the culture, the belief, the tradition of the places because they are not very familiar what they are tourists.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is what do you call this? It is unintentional. They don't really do it purposely to offend the local people. Imagine, for example, the people in Baguio, Benguet. You know their costume, right?
Costume, yeah.
Correct. Imagine you will wear that one. You will make it as like what do you call this? Like a tourist for experience. But in certain group or tribe, it is offending. You are offending them. Let's say to them it's very sacred. You cannot just wear it for fun. But for tourists, oh, I want to try it. I want to try it. I want to take photo of it. Wearing
Yeah.
that's a negative effect. Okay? Positive effect, you will know culture. But negative effect of that one is you might be offending the local people already. What else? Their traditions. Let's say for example, visit in Singapore, temple. For you, you want to take photo experience to see the Buddhist temple or mosque. But to them, they go there to pray. But for you,
Yeah.
that's what.
In mosque, they are not wearing slipper to go inside. You must be
Ah,
clean. Yeah.
that's why you see those are the effect that sometimes because tourists are not aware, they just do it for experience, for fun. That's why
For
sometimes
blogging.
the arguments of positive and negative effect of tourism. What else? When I visited when I went to India, because I went to Gujarat. So majority there are eating vegetarian. I say, what if you are sitting Muslim? You cannot eat pork. But for us, we
Mm.
love pork. When not stroke yet, I love to eat pork. But imagine you are sitting someone who is Muslim. You cannot eat pork beside that person. It's offending.
Yeah, I remember when I was meet with my boyfriend, right?
Uh huh.
He's vegetarian. Then I asked him to order something. He said that I'm vegetarian. So I ordered pork because I was hungry with lechon.
Okay. Lichon. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Then
lechon in Lucky Plaza. I've
okay.
ordered lechon. Really, I said, you want to eat? Because they're not eating pork.
Correct.
Yeah. Then he sit the front of me. Then I said, you can order food for you. He said that I'm going out.
You see that?
Yeah.
Sometimes to us, it's unintentional. We don't want to offend, but because we are
Mm,
not aware.
yes.
Sometimes that's why you see some tourists, they just want it for experience. But to them, you are offending them. Of course, your boyfriend is different story, but to other people who is not your relative or not close to you, let's say for example, in Saudi country, right?
Mm,
Especially during Ramadan, you cannot really eat in public.
because they are fasting.
Correct. Even because my boss last time, my previous company, I've got three of them doing fasting, to eat lunch, right? Because I only eat in my room, I don't really eat outside, I always bring my own food. So every Ramadan, very difficult where you will eat, how you will eat, just not to offend them. They say it's okay, no worry, just eat, but you still feel bad. Like, how difficult, how challenging for them not to eat, not to drink the whole day, and then you are happily eating. And then your food is really smelly. Like, you can't. That's why, even in because my boss is Muslim, right? So I cannot even bring pork in the office. If I want to eat pork that time, now I don't really, not very, very often. If I want to eat pork, I need to go down. Why? Respect.
Mm.
It's their belief, it's their culture, is their uh tradition. So uh just ignore it. Like, during Ramadan, very difficult to eat. Whenever I eat, I will really off the light and then close my door. Why?
So,
Because I feel bad that I'm eating and then they are doing fasting. Although to them say, no worry lah, just eat. No, no lah, of course nah. You still feel bad. And I had my neighbor in Philippines, my neighbor last time. Her husband, right, sent back to Philippines. Why? Because caught eating in public, and then someone local there reported him, and then he was immediately caught and then sent back to country.
because of eating in public.
During Ramadan.
Oh,
They're very strict. They're very strict. During Ramadan, you cannot eat in the public, because that's their culture. You need to respect their culture. That's the argument of the effect of tourism into a country. Sometimes we may tend to ignore, or we don't know, honest mistake. We don't know that it is not allowed. We in Singapore, eating of chewing gum. Not
yeah.
everybody know. And then happy you go JB, right? Wow, so many shops of chewing gum there. What if you bring here? You bring here, Daila, you will be charged. You will pay penalty. Because you cannot bring in. First time I travel taking airplane, they say, oh, must chewing gum so that your ear, you cannot feel the what do you call it, like the tension in the during takeoff and the landing. Wow, happy then they say, hey, you cannot
Stolen.
bring that one in Singapore. Oh,
Mm.
really? Then only then when I came here, I came to know the chewing gum you cannot bring. You know, as a tourist, social responsibility, you should know. You should know what to do, when to do, where to do. Like Singapore, like smoking. You cannot just smoke anywhere. If you smoke anywhere, and then what is that, the environmental government,
Alarm.
the
Alarm.
the NEA catch you, you need to pay. You know,
There's some place to smoke. There's some isolations area everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Hold on.
Pandit mo.
Okay, that is social. Then personal and family influence social also by age. For example,
Sorry, kumuha ko charge.
okay, okay. So for example, by age. Example, Japan. Japan so many elderly than youngster. In Singapore also. That's why they really, there was a time here in Singapore, they really push Singaporean to get married and give birth, because more elderly, more mortality, meaning more people die than giving birth, because the
Bird,
people
as in bird.
birth panganganak,
Oh, oh, sorry. So,
they don't want, the people here, the youngster especially, they don't want give give birth. Why? Cost of living
because of
lah, very
poverty.
difficult. No, not poverty, but they say like, wow, I myself, I cannot support myself. Why should I give birth? They may get married, but they will not uh give birth. That's why you see, even they give birth one only, two children. Compared it in Philippines, how many children they have?
Yeah, so many.
Those who do not have decent job, they are the one with five, six, seven children.
Yeah, because they're not working, so they think that we.
Exactly. They are not well educated, and then to them like
Mm,
life like very simple. They can eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's it.
and they're thinking that their kids is their what's that called? Um, what's if they are sending the kids to school, then they return the assets, something like that. What's that? I forget the term.
That's the thing in third world country.
Yeah,
Like
the Filipino culture.
very simple. Then there are some places like they. That's why you see the use of a contraceptive in Singapore,
Yes.
in Philippines. They are really trying to fight. See, because religious wise they cannot do that. But you see the people, then what life they have.
They call it investment. The some yeah, some Filipino people they call their kids is investment. They sending to school, then after you finish your studies, then you need to work, then send money to their parents, something like that. They call it investment.
Exactly.
Mm. But luckily, my parents is not like that mindset, because they said that you need to go to school after you graduate, you need to find a job or you want a business. Then that is for you, not for me, because I'm already old.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's why you see, you can observe people. You can observe your boyfriend culture, and then you
mm.
can observe how the people in Philippines, the mindset in terms of age. Imagine. What is the marrying age in Singapore? What is the marrying age in Philippines?
Yeah. And he don't even have a kid. I asked him if you want a kid in the future. He told me that maybe at 40s. I said, huh? At 40s? Then your 40s, your kids, you become 60 years old, then your kids, how old? 20 years old? She said,
Exactly.
or either he don't have a kid, either he buy a dog or something. So, because he said that here in Singapore is very expensive. So if you have a kid, you cannot afford the expenses or something like
Exactly.
that.
Because the cost of living. But
Yeah.
they are like that is because they are knowledgeable. They are aware. They were informed.
Mm-mm.
Imagine also same thing culture in Japan. So many elderly compared to youngster. That's why Japan government, they are really pushing the local the Japanese to get married, give birth, because they are very scared with uh the life that they can give to their kids. There was even a time now in Singapore, like they even adjust the benefits to mother who are giving birth. They increase the maternity leave.
For
Why?
month.
Because they really want them to give birth, to have more Singaporean. You understand? So next one is the family life cycle. Family life cycle. I'll show you this one. Hold on.
And then the government support the every family here in Singapore, unlike in the Philippines,
Yes.
that only the
Here well
poor
support.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, here well supported.
Every month he told me that he received vouchers, they received some allowance.
Yeah, if they are good in school also.
Parents receive vouchers this month. They receive vouchers 800 per head per family.
Especially during election.
Yes.
That's why, because the government can support.
Trade 90 plus stock markets worldwide, plus selected ETFs and options around the clock from your mobile device.
I'll show you video for visual.
Hello,
Easy to
and welcome to this animation explaining the family life cycle. The family life cycle is an incredibly useful understanding from family therapy. It refers to the progression of the family unit through transitional periods in its life cycle. That's right, the family system has a life cycle. We all know about life cycles, like when a tadpole becomes a frog or a puppy grows up into a dog. And most people are also familiar with the individual life cycles, the different ages and stages of children as they grow, have birthdays, start school, become teenagers and then adults. Typically though, when we think of the life cycle transitions, we think of these as individual milestones. But families have a life cycle too, and the family life cycle refers to the stages and transitions for the family system. Sometimes these transitions can be challenging. Knowing about the family life cycle is incredibly useful because understanding that the family has different stages and transitions can make a big difference in how we navigate the journey of life. So what exactly are the family life cycle stages and transitions? Family life cycle transitions are predictable transitions that happen as we move between the different stages of life and journey through life and time. Each transition requires flexibility for the family to change, to adapt with a new family structure, and to adjust aspects of life like roles, routines, family processes, and even family identity. Different periods or stages of the family life cycle typically require modifications in the family structure and processes, but most people don't consciously consider this. The transitions may be predictable, but the adaptations and changes are often taken for granted or assumed that they will just naturally happen. What are the stages of the family life cycle? Leaving home. This is about accepting financial, practical, and emotional responsibility for oneself. partnering up with a significant other to create a new family system. This is the joining of families through significant relationships or marriage and commitment to a new system. Families with young children. This involves accepting children as new members of the family system. Families with teenagers. This involves increasing the family system flexibility and allowing for growth and independence. Launching teenagers and moving on in midlife. The family system is adapting to exits from the system and entries too. And families in later life, where the generational roles shift as parents may become grandparents or as people retire. So let's dive into understanding these different stages. Leaving home. The leaving home stage involves a reshuffle of roles as the young adult becomes responsible for themselves. Parents may often still help, but the young adult is responsible for their finances, decision-making, problem-solving, emotional and physical well-being, relationships, spirituality, and establishing themselves in the community and society. Some helpful considerations for this family life cycle stage include: consider the strengths for navigating this stage and where help might be needed. Consider how to balance independence and staying connected to family. And consider how to help your young adult without over-functioning for them. Partnering up. Becoming a couple is a commitment to a new system that involves consideration of how to be an individual as well as being a partner, how to arrange practicalities like decorating, chores, what to have for dinner, where to holiday, and even how to have fun together, how to communicate and share intimately, how to manage relationships with families of origin and friends, and how to manage engagement in the broader community, for example, sporting or religious groups. Some helpful considerations for this stage of the family life cycle include the importance of developing open communication and working out how to solve problems together, appreciating the importance of being curious and respectful about each other's family of origin, friends, and other important relationships, and then negotiating how to honour these whilst now in a couple relationship. Families with young children. Welcoming baby into the family is a big transition that requires a renegotiation of roles, relationships, and couple processes to make space for the new person in the relationship, the child. Helpful considerations for this stage include: each parent will need to find a way to create their own relationship with baby, and each baby or child that comes into the family through birth, fostering, or adoption. Each parent still needs to work out how to be a person and a partner, as well as a parent. It's important to invest time into considering and talking about hopes and dreams for baby and yourself as a parent, as well as the practicalities like finances and roles, like housekeeping, and also values about parenting. Make time to consider and talk about the impact of baby joining your family system, also on your broader system of family and friends. Families with teenagers. As young children in the family system become tweens and then teens, they are going through some individual developmental changes that are also part of family life. Things like their brain being under construction from a neuroscience perspective. This refers to a range of things from reduction in logical thinking to increase in sleeping in. There are also hormones, developing independence, and increased connection with peers. Helpful considerations for this stage include: work out a balance of allowing your teen to connect to friends while still staying connected with you and the family. Consider the neurobiological changes in this stage and avoid taking things personally or having unrealistic expectations. Take some time to do some research and understand your teen. Remember that different ages and stages require different parenting strategies, and you may need to update and tweak how you connect to your teen, talk to them, discipline them, and what you expect from them. And as the last child enters the teen years, this is a time for you to consider the upcoming time together as a couple and your time as an individual and what your hopes are for this time. launching teenagers, and moving on in midlife. Launching might sound like your teen is literally launched out of the family home, and sometimes this is the case, but it really refers to launching into the next stage of life. This means a shift from a parent-to-child relationship to an adult-to-adult relationship. It's an emotional and relational shift that may or may not involve a geographical shift, but it does allow more space for the couple relationship and for being an individual. Some helpful considerations for this stage include: if your teen or young adult's living with you, consider your values and house rules, and also what this looks like for another adult in the house as opposed to a child. Consider how to keep connected in an adult-to-adult relationship with your child. As a person, partner, and parent, take time to reevaluate your values and vision for this stage of life. What are your hopes, goals, and dreams? And consider your connection or reconnection to friends and community. Families in mid to later life. From midlife to late midlife, families continue to change with things like shifts in generational roles, reviewing the couple system functioning, and individual functioning, including having fun and connecting as a couple. There may also be an increasing interest in family history, including family stories, and wanting to pass these on to the next generation. Helpful considerations for this family life cycle stage include: consider how roles are changing in terms of supporting adult children and possibly also elderly parents at the same time. Strike a balance of support without over-functioning for the other person, a balance that respects the other's autonomy. If you become a grandparent, balance maintaining a relationship with your adult child with building a relationship with your grandchild. Don't let your enthusiasm for a grandchild invite you to lose focus on your adult child. They still matter. If you become a grandparent, remember your role is to support your child in their parenting. This means accepting that as adults, they may make different parenting choices to you.
Then follow the flow, ah.
And as time progresses, the family life cycle moves on to acknowledge the final changes. The family life cycle acknowledges the end of the life cycle. Death and loss are the most profound challenges families confront. It's important to be mindful that there are a variety of individual understandings and responses to loss, and it's also important to understand that there are adaptational challenges for the family system. For family systems, mutual support at times of loss makes a difference. Relational connectedness helps families and family members to emerge strengthened and more resourceful in meeting future life challenges. In the family life cycle, challenges often arise at transitions because of the changes, adaptations, and adjustments needed. Change is hard and sometimes even scary. If a family is having trouble accommodating to the changes needed for the life cycle transition, these challenges can turn into problems for the family, leaving them stuck or having troubles coping. And these troubles can put stress and strain on family relationships and individuals. Sometimes this can end up looking like stress, anxiety, anger, behaviour problems, or depression as the pressure builds up. It's common for people to seek counselling and support at a family life cycle transition because the required changes in family structure, relationship, roles, and processes can be very challenging. Sometimes just knowing about the family life cycle is help enough, leaving everyone feeling normal and validated, and opening up possibilities for doing something different. And sometimes a family or a family member might seek support with how to navigate the transition. Some family life cycle transitions are more complicated because they don't follow the predictable life cycle transition pathway. Life does not always go according to plan. The plan can change, and we are all subject to the hands we are dealt and to the slings and arrows of fate. And so there are also other life pathways, other life choices and aspects of life, and other considerations in the family life cycle. The other pathways, choices, aspects, and considerations include things like migration, which can be a positive choice or a forced choice. They also include things like loss, trauma, remaining single, global issues such as the pandemic, a fertility journey that may not end as planned, pregnancy loss, illness or injury, disability, war, or experiences of natural disasters, including flood, fire, cyclones, and drought. Some of these are referred to as unscheduled transitions because things like untimely loss and trauma, they are literally unscheduled, unpredictable, and unwanted. Unscheduled transitions have an impact on the family structure, arrangement, roles, and processes, and can require additional support.
Okay. So that's basically, if you could, quite long cycle, but it's the complete uh picture of, like, that's why we call it as a cycle. It's just a repeated process. You know, when you start, and then uh with children, and then your children become teenager, your teenager say bye bye to you already because they want to get married, then you will become alone. That's why you see parents, right, at the end of the day, it's still the parents will be together. The children will definitely cry, as I told you, right? The culture in US, if you reach 18 years old, you need to say bye bye to your parents. You need to leave your own, you need to support your own self already. You need to look for a job. That's one thing slowly Singaporean youngster are adopting. At a very young age, their mindset is to work already. Okay? Not unlike in other country.
In
Imagine.
our country.
Oh my goodness. So now
And
already.
when you are married, you're still living with your parents.
Exactly.
My
Okay, so
goodness.
is this family life cycle, and then gender, of course, men and women different. This one, the disability. There are many factors. It actually affects also. But one good thing, that's why you see, if you could, let's say for me, for example, for me, right? The comfort that Singapore is providing to the people here with disability. You can see blind people walking the street, which you cannot do it in other country.
Yeah.
In Philippines, that's why I see, oh, especially for me, when I travel to, let's say, going to Malaysia, right? I cannot bring the motor that I'm used to bring
Mhm.
because the transportation there is not conducive. They cannot, the bus, the public transport, you cannot use, I cannot use my motorcycle. Not unlike in Singapore, even I'm alone, I can independently move. I no need to have someone who will carry the thing. Why? Because here, like they still want to promote promote good and convenient life to the people with disability. You see elderly, right? Even you can see people with disability, the people with autism, you can still see them in the public transport.
Yeah, especially the bus driver helping the old people.
And to us, right? Let's say I'm in a wheelchair, right?
Wheelchair, yeah.
The driver will not allow
Very
the people
accommodating.
to take the bus. I first, and then the public will go next. That's what how
Yes.
they give people. That's how they give privilege
Privilege.
for people with disability. That you cannot observe that in other country.
Yes,
So
true.
this is the life cycle. Just now I showed you the video. Okay, then what else? Okay, this one is the social life. This is our level. For example, in Philippines, right? I mean, anywhere. Social, if you are class A, you are class B, class C1, C2, D, and Maria, this one, can you just take note? A is upper. Wait. A is upper. B is mid. B is middle class. C is this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
then E
screenshot
is the
me.
lowest level. Can you adjust your notes? So the
Alright.
E is upper, higher managerial, owner of the company, CEO, director, like that. That's class A. Can you see?
Yeah.
Then class B, middle class, professional, intermediate, managerial. Class B, middle class. Class C1, class lower middle.
Class C, class lower middle.
So A is the upper class.
Mm.
A upper, B is this one. Let me.
Okay.
So A is upper, B is middle class.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like that. So you can observe the country. How many in the country's population belong to class A, class B, C1, C2, D, and E? Then you can observe their life, meaning can they still sustain their life? Can they support their life like that? So that is
Sorry.
this one when we talk about the social grade. So in the country, are there many class A, class B? Because you know, right? If the people, majority of the people are class A, how is their living? Of course,
Correct.
they can live comfortable like that, right? How you observe if the country has many class E people, meaning lowest level unemployed,
More
crime rate is
professional
high,
class A.
right? Unfortunately, if many are class E unemployed, crime rate is high because they need to survive. See that? So that is the social education and training enhance quality of life. This is the positive effect. Education and training enhance the quality of life, pride, social cultural awareness, and peace. So these are the positive effect of hospitality and tourism to the country and to the people. It enhances the quality of life of the people. Okay? So take note this one, this one.
Educational training and pride and social cultural peace. Okay.
These are the negative effect, as I mentioned earlier.
Crime.
Yes, because they need to survive, ma. Right? They need to survive. So in order for them to survive, that's why you see some people, right? When they caught by the police, then they will tell, "Oh, I just need money to buy food for my children. That is their reason, which is wrong. It cannot be tolerated. Like, okay, you're excused to commit crime because you need to feed your children. No, lah. You cannot do that. Correct? What else? Commodification is you are changing. Just now I share with you, right? You are changing. You are changing the culture just to make tourists happy.
And safe.
That's the commodification. And you see that demonstration effect, changing in attitude, values, behavior. Imagine when the K-pop become K-pop era, right? People, even in Singapore, very very funny. You can see people wearing the what do you call that? The costume cosplay.
Mm.
You can you can see people wearing cosplay. Imagine you're in the. I mean, now we cannot question that anymore because we are used to it. But how can it is influenced? They are
Wearing
influenced
bra.
by tourists. They are not used in doing that, but now they are you doing that. It's because it's the effect. Displacement. Take note this one. I just read through this one. Anyway, you can economic and exploitation. This is very sad. Because of tourism, the rate of prostitution increases. What else? You see that it creates job, but not attractive as they are initially seem when some organizations exploit labor. Imagine forced labor and lower level job. That is exploitation. Because of tourism, no choice. Below 18 years old, they also need to work. Imagine even lower than 10 years old, they are already working. Why parents saying, oh, they need to earn money, they need to help us because we cannot survive. So that is negative effect.
Early age.
Okay, then this one, the economic effect. The economic effect, take note this one, read discretionary expense, exchange rate, disposable income. Okay, then the positive balance of payment, employment, multiplier effect. So you read through this one because the assignment this one we will be discussing. And also what I will do is I will make a video. I will explain more because now no time.
Mm.
Okay? What I will do is just to give you the clear picture of that one. Okay, those socio-economic effect of tourism, positive and negative. I will create a video, okay, and then I will upload. Did you watch the video that I uploaded?
Yesterday. Yes, I watched in the morning.
Uh-huh. Clear.
Yeah.
But it's the same clear. Okay. Any questions so far you have?
Not yet.
No, no, no. Yeah. Okay. What I will do is I will create a separate video for this so that we don't really because very fast track. If we cannot have it like this kind of discussion, okay, you can watch it for better understanding.
Yeah.
We will upload more videos in our
Google
Google
Classroom.
Classroom. Okay? So that one, and then When is our next lesson?
18.
Mm.
So we can advance. Because